Hello, this is an information video about Oklahoma City bombing. Even though it is a real big event in USA, it isn't very known in Denmark. Actually, only 1 out of 20 Danish students know about the event, and we would like to change that.
This is a timeline that shows the Oklahoma bombing in April the 19th, 1995. At 9:02 a.m. CST, a rental truck filled with explosive is detonated outside the Alfred P. Murray Federal Building in Oklahoma City. In April the 19th, 1995, near Perry, Oklahoma, Army veteran Timothy McVeigh is arrested during a traffic stop for driving a vehicle without a license plate. The April the 21st, 1995, Timothy McVeigh is arrested by federal authorities. Co-conspirator Terry Nichols turned himself in Harrington, Kansas. In May the 23rd, 1995, the remaining parts of the main building are exploded.
11th of August 1995, McVeigh and Nichols are indicted on murder and conspiracy charges. The 24th of April 1997, McVeigh's trials begins in Denver, Colorado. The 2nd of June 1997, McVeigh is convicted on 11 counts of murder, conspiracy and using a weapon of mass destruction. He is sentenced to death on June the 13th. The 2nd of November 1997, Nichols' trials begins in McAllister in Oklahoma. 23rd of December 1997, Nichols is convicted on federal charges of conspiracy and 8 counts of involuntary manslaughter. He is sentenced to life in prison. He is serving his sentence at the Supermax Federal Prison in Florence, Colorado. The 11th of June 2001, McVeigh is executed by lethal injection. He is the first person executed for a federal crime in the United States since 1963. The 26th of May 2004, Nichols is found guilty in Oklahoma State Court on 161 counts of murder. The jury spends 5 hours deliberating before announcing the verdict. The 9th of August 2004, District Judge Stephen Taylor sentenced Nichols to 161 consecutive life terms without the possibility of parole. The 20th of January 2006, Michael Fortier is released from prison after serving 11 years for failing to notify authorities of McVeigh and Nichols' plans to bomb the Murrah Federal Building. Fortier was a friend of the bombers but testified against them during their trials.
The Oklahoma City bombing had an impact of consequences politically. For example, with Bill Clinton, who is the president at the time of the act. The act made the hostility between the Republicans to the president even greater than it has been since the 1930s. Republicans have never liked Democratic presidents, but the Oklahoma bombing made the Republicans go back to hostility to talk angrily about the man in the White House. The Republicans have several times in different interviews mentioned the president as disastrous for the world. But President Clinton did not only have a negative impact from the Oklahoma bombing act, he actually benefited a lot politically from this act. A network poll that was created to see how many votes Clinton would get showed extraordinary results. It showed that a whole 60% of the American people approved of him. Until the Oklahoma bombing act, this number was inside the 40% range, but the act made his votes rise by a whole 20%. You could say that the Oklahoma bombing act made President Clinton shine and come forth and take action, rather than sit down and let someone else take care of the problem. It showed the people the hope they desired in times of need, which could be why President Clinton was re-elected for president in 1996.
Oklahoma bombing today. Hate groups. The number of organized hate groups in the US has risen 64% since 2000, and the potential for another national terrorist attack is on rise. One of the great lessons for Oklahoma City bombing is that the national radical right stances extremely serious pressures. It presented us that not all terrorists speak different language, wear turbans, or speak too different. Law administration experts have blocked 60 national terror plots since the Oklahoma, including one in Texas, in which 4 suspects apparently planned to blow up a normal gas processing plant. There were 800 organized hate groups in the US in 2005, including the Ku Klux Klan and other white racists, up from 600 just 6 years earlier. Terrorism. Through the terrorist attack on Oklahoma City happened nearly 2 periods ago, right-wing extremist terrorism remains a significant national danger to American security. The Department of Homeland Security released a report in 2009 saying that the economy and political climate stands important competitions to the conditions of the early 1990s. These conditions, including the public debate around hot-button issues such as immigration, gun control, along with the election of the first African-American president, Barack Obama.
We can compare the Oklahoma event with something similar that happened here in Scandinavia. Anders Breivik. Anders Breivik did also go against his own country with terrorism, even though he was born and raised in the country. This means that the event with Oklahoma isn't just a one-time thing, but something that can happen again.
To sum it up, the American society became more aware of the importance of democracy, which you can see from the example with Bill Clinton. And studies have shown that most terrorists are Muslims, and in most Muslim countries there are dictatorship. Dictatorship means that one person controls the entire country, and because of this, many people feel that they are trapped and these people have no human rights. This leads to terrorist groups like ISIS, who produce suicide bombers, and it can lead to an event such as 9/11, where Al-Qaeda sent some suicide bombers. USA and the entire world in general have realized the importance of getting a democracy control, and because of that, they have sent thousands of soldiers to Iraq and spent billions of dollars to hope to get a better and more democratic world.